Whenever ginger is cheap, I always buy a little more to store, both to save money and to feel assured that there is always ginger in the kitchen to use. But ginger spoils very easily. If it is not stored properly, it will quickly dry out, sprout, and lose its distinctive aroma. After trying many different methods, I finally kept these 3 storage methods because they are easy to do and convenient for daily use. You only need to prepare them once, and you can use ginger for many months while it still stays fragrant, spicy, and very delicious. Today, I will share each step in detail with everyone. This is the ginger I just bought from the market. Although the seller has already cleaned it, there is still some soil stuck deep in the small crevices on the ginger skin, so if you only rinse it briefly, it will not be completely clean. The first thing I do is prepare a large basin. Add 1 tablespoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of baking soda, and stir until completely dissolved in the water. Next, I put all the ginger in and soak it for about 10 minutes. After only a short while, the water becomes very cloudy because a lot of dirt and sand has come off. Every time I do this step, I feel much more assured because baking soda helps clean the dirt still clinging to the skin, while salt helps clean and reduce the earthy smell on the ginger. After about 10 minutes, I use my hands to gently rub off the larger pieces of dirt first, then take out each piece of ginger and scrub it again with a brush. I pay attention to scrubbing carefully in the small crevices and rough areas, because those are the places where dirt and sand cling most easily. If I come across a piece that is too large or has many small branches that are difficult to clean, I break it in half to make it easier to clean. Many people ask me whether I peel ginger. Actually, I usually keep the skin on because ginger skin also has a very distinctive aroma. As long as it is washed thoroughly, it can be used. After scrubbing everything clean, I rinse the ginger 2 more times under running water. At this point, the ginger looks much cleaner and brighter. Next, I put the ginger in a basket to drain completely. This step is extremely important because if water is still left on the ginger and you store it right away, it can easily become waterlogged or spoil quickly during long-term storage. I usually leave it for about 30 minutes until the ginger skin feels completely dry when I pick it up before moving on. When the ginger has drained, I divide it into portions to make 3 different storage methods. The first method is making frozen ginger cubes for everyday cooking. I cut the ginger into moderately small pieces so the blender can work more easily. There is no need to cut it too small, but you should not leave the whole large pieces either, because the blender will have difficulty blending evenly. Then I put everything into the blender. I add about 1 small cup of water to help the ginger blend more smoothly and release its juice more easily. Put the lid on and start blending. I usually blend it a little longer so the ginger becomes completely smooth. At this point, the spicy ginger aroma rises very clearly. When the mixture is smooth, I place a sieve over a large bowl and pour everything through to strain it. If anyone has sensitive skin, you should wear gloves because ginger juice is quite hot and spicy and can easily make your hands sting, just like when cutting chili. I use a spoon to press the pulp firmly to extract all the juice inside. After straining, I keep the ginger juice and the pulp separately because both can still be used. With the first portion of ginger juice, I pour it into an ice cube tray. I divide it evenly into each small compartment so each cube is just enough for one use. Then I put the tray into the freezer for a few hours. When it is completely frozen, I take the tray out. At this point, the ginger cubes have hardened and are very fragrant. I remove each cube and put them all into a food storage container. Doing this makes it much cleaner and also saves space in the freezer. Since using this method, I no longer need to cut ginger every time I cook. I just need to take out 1 cube and use it right away to cook soup, braise fish, marinate meat, or make tea. There is no need to thaw it, and the ginger still keeps a very clear aroma. The second method is making concentrated ginger syrup for drinks. I pour the remaining ginger juice into a pot. Turn on medium heat and stir continuously so the mixture does not stick to the bottom of the pot. When the liquid begins to heat up and gently boil, I add sugar. I do not add too much, just enough to soften the strong spiciness of the ginger. If you prefer it sweeter, you can adjust it according to your own taste. Then I lower the heat. Continue stirring evenly for about 10 to 15 minutes. Little by little, the mixture begins to thicken. The color also gradually turns into a beautiful light brown. At this point, the aroma of ginger spreads very clearly, and the kitchen feels warmer too. When the mixture reaches the thickness I want, I turn off the heat and let it cool naturally. While waiting for it to cool, I prepare clean and dry glass jars. I usually rinse the jars with boiling water and then dry them thoroughly so they can be stored longer. When the ginger syrup has cooled down a bit, I pour it into each jar and close the lids tightly. Then I store them in the refrigerator. Each time I use it, I only need to take 1 small spoonful and mix it with warm water. Some days, I add a few slices of lemon or a little honey, and it also tastes very good. On cold days, or when I feel a little tired, drinking a hot cup of ginger tea like this feels very soothing. Finally, there is the ginger pulp left after straining the juice. I do not throw it away, because this part is still very fragrant. First, I spread the ginger pulp evenly on a tray lined with parchment paper. I spread it very thinly so the ginger dries faster and more evenly when drying. Then I put it into the oven. I set the temperature to about 120 degrees Celsius and dry it for 45 minutes. About halfway through, I open it and check once. At this point, the ginger on top has begun to dry, so I use a spoon to stir it evenly so the bottom and top dry more evenly. Continue drying until the ginger is completely dry. When it crumbles when gently squeezed, it is ready. Then I let it cool completely and put it into a dry blender. Blend until it becomes a fine powder. Finally, I put all the ginger powder into a clean and dry glass jar and close the lid tightly. This ginger powder is extremely convenient. I can use it to make honey, tea, cook, bake, or add it to stews, and it is all very fragrant. Most importantly, you only need to make it once, but it can be used for a very long time. Thanks to these 3 methods, now my kitchen always has ginger, ready to use. From frozen ginger cubes for quick cooking, ginger syrup for drinks, to convenient dried ginger powder, all of them help save a lot of time and reduce waste. Since learning how to store ginger like this, I no longer worry that buying a lot of ginger will make it spoil. What about everyone? How do you usually store ginger? If you have any other good tips, remember to share them.